Welcome to our financial literacy program. Our focus of discussion today is to tell people about various methods of transaction that can be used in a banking system. We will be dealing with passbook, check, ATM card, draft, that is demand draft, a credit card and debit card. We will be telling how these things can be availed, made use of, and what are the benefits involved with these items. A model of discussion will be an informal chat which will be carried out between Mukta and Shivani. Mukta is a cotton farmer and Shivani is a chartered accountant. Mukta is a hard-working cotton farmer and has recently opened a bank account after great thoughts. She is very confused on how to make use of the bank kit given to her at the time of opening an account and how she can make basic transactions. On her way home, she meets Shivani, a chartered accountant, who has come to visit her village for some research project. Mukta has been helping Shivani in her research project, so she thought of asking Shivani's help now. Mukta asks her for help and Shivani readily helps her. So the conversation goes like this. Mukta: I have recently opened a bank account, but I don't know how to make use of all these books that they have given me.
No problem, Mukta. Don't worry. We will sort out each of your problems one by one. Let me see what all you have got. Okay, so we have a passbook, a checkbook, and an ATM card. Mukta, take a seat and I will explain you everything. A passbook is given to account holders of banks and savings and loans institutions in order to document all transactions. Whatever transactions you make with the bank, you get them updated in this book.
So does it get automatically updated, ma'am? Or I have to go and get it done always?
Yes, Mukta. You will have to go to the person authorized for making an entry in the passbook whenever you make a transaction in a bank. He will update your passbook. This is basically for your own record so that you can know where your money is, how much you are left with in the bank. This is an example of a sheet in the passbook. Here is where you can see the balance in your account, and this is a summary of the transactions that you make with the bank.
So is it like that what we maintain at home are daily expense records? That is the basic passbook meant for?
Yes, whatever transactions you make with the bank, all are entered in the passbook and you can see the record of all of that here. Now, I'll tell you about the check. A check is like an order to the bank to pay an amount to the person in whose name it has been signed. Mukta, there are a few things which you must always remember while using a check.
And what are those?
First of all, do not sign all the checks beforehand. Sign the check only when you're making a payment to someone through it. Secondly, try not to make any changes on the check once you have written it. That may lead to cancelling of the check. Thirdly, whenever you are making a payment to the person who has an account, always make it account pay by drawing two straight lines on the upper leftmost corner of the check. This would help in safe transactions. And finally, never make a payment more than the amount you have in your account. This would lead to the bouncing of the check.
I have a query, Shivani. If I keep all the checks signed beforehand, is there a risk of being misused?
Yes, anybody can misuse the checks. Anybody can enter any desired amount, and since you had already signed them before, the check can be issued to that person and the respective amount can be deducted from your account. So you should not sign checks beforehand.
Okay.
This is an example of a check. This is the place where you write the date. Here, the amount of the check should be mentioned in figures. This is the place where you write account paying by drawing two straight lines, and the name of the person to whom the check is being issued should come here. Also, the amount of the check in words should come here. This is the check number, of which you can make a note at the back of the checkbook, and you should sign here.
Why we should make a note of this check number?
To keep a record of the checks that you have issued, just in case if you want to cancel a check in future, you can do so by telling the bank the respective check number.
Thank you so much, Shivani. But what if I have issued a check but later I don't want to pay the money?
Yes, Mukta, that happens. So, whenever you issue a check, always note down its number given at the bottom and the amount of the check here at the back of your checkbook. If you want to cancel a check, then notify the bank not to clear that particular check number.
That's so simple, Shivani. But I have a doubt again. If all my checks in the checkbook are finished, will I have to make a new account all again?
Oh no, Mukta. In that case, you simply have to write an application to the bank to issue you a new checkbook. It will be delivered to your registered address within 14 days. Now, I'll tell you about the ATM card. An ATM card is a very beneficial thing these days. You don't have to carry money with you if you're carrying this.
I didn't catch you, Shivani. No need to carry money. Can you please elaborate?
Yes, see, it's a magnetically coded card which can be read by an ATM machine. If you insert it in the machine and follow certain steps to withdraw money, you can directly get cash from the machine without going to the bank and waiting in those long queues. You can withdraw money even on bank holidays.
That's great. But I really don't know how to use it in the machine.
Don't worry about that. I'll tell you how to use it. Before that, you must know certain things regarding ATM. You can withdraw cash up to a certain limit during any time of the day or night. You need not carry large amount of cash with you. ATM allows you to withdraw cash from any city or state across the country and even from outside the country. And all this is free of cost. You have been provided with a 4-digit code to operate this ATM card for the first time. You must change this and set your own code and then remember it forever. Henceforth, your new code will be used as the PIN for withdrawing money from ATM. And Mukta, never write your PIN on the ATM card or anywhere else. Just remember it.
Okay, but just in case I happen to forget it, then what should I do? And what if I lose my ATM card somehow?
See, if you forget your PIN, then apply for a new PIN in the bank. This would again come to your registered postal address. And if you happen to lose your ATM card, then you will have to immediately inform your bank and get that card blocked, else someone might misuse it. You must also lodge an FIR and then apply for reissue of an ATM card in bank.
So that means ATM card needs to be preserved very much.
Yes, you should use it very carefully and the details of your PIN should not be disclosed to anybody else. Now this is what an ATM card looks like. This is the card number and this is what an ATM machine looks like. Here, this is the place where you insert your card from. This is the digital screen. After inserting your card, you have to follow certain steps which comes on the screen, and after you complete the steps, you get the desired amount of money from this outlet. Now, I'll tell you about the draft.
What is a demand draft?
A draft is another mode of payment used majorly in official transactions. You generally use bank drafts when you need to pay somebody with guaranteed funds. When purchasing a home, for example, you may be required to use a bank draft instead of a personal check. They are also used in international trade. Bank drafts are more secure for sellers because the funds are guaranteed by the bank that issued the draft. If you write a personal check, your check may bounce. However, banks only issue bank drafts after they have taken money from your account. So sellers have a better chance of getting paid. And also the bank charges for making a draft, whereas a check is for free.
So we should use a check and not the draft. And also we cannot cancel a draft once it is made.
No, Mukta. Sometimes we don't have an option but to use a draft only. So we should use a draft. Also, we can always ask the bank to stop the payment before the draft is delivered to the payee if we wish to cancel the draft. This is what a draft looks like. Here, the date is given by the bank, the amount of the draft is mentioned here, and the person to whom the draft is being issued is mentioned here. The stamp of the bank is given here, without which the draft doesn't hold good. And the draft number is given here, which you should note down very carefully for future records.
Fine. I have heard a few terms like credit card and debit card also. Can you help me out with these also?
Sure. See, both the credit and debit card works exactly the same way as the literal meaning says so. A credit card holder is someone to whom a card is issued and who has an obligation to pay all necessary financial borrowings made on his card. Credit cards are used as a means for internet banking and can also be used for shopping by simply getting the card swiped. Credit card shall be used within a prescribed credit limit. This limit is based on the earning capacity and credit worthiness of a credit card holder, as communicated by the bank issuing it to its customer. Repayments along with interest are made either after a period of 30 to 45 days or are done on a monthly billing basis. Now this is how a credit card looks like. This is the credit card number and this is the period till which the credit card is valid. After this particular period, you need to renew your credit card. At the back of the credit card, the CVV number is given, which is very confidential and which you need to provide during internet transactions. This should not be disclosed to anybody else. A debit card differs from a credit card in the sense that a debit card is tied directly to your bank account and the amount of money you can spend with it is limited to the amount of money you have in the bank.
But how do I use a debit and credit card?
When you use a debit card, the transaction debits the amount of the transaction from your account, usually on the same day. You can use a debit card to get cash from ATM machines or have it swiped like a credit card at shops or restaurants, or swipe it through a payphone to make a call. This is how a debit card looks like. It is quite similar to a credit card, and on the back side this also has the CVV code, which should be kept confidential and should not be disclosed to anybody else.
Thanks a lot, Shivani. I feel confident now and I'm sure we'll make the best use of this account.
You're most welcome, Mukta.